Oh, he's not in. He's
Deception.
busy.
I
So,
thought you were talking about me.
Maybe
and I'm
we'll
like,
just do the
what?
polls
No.
next time, you know. But
The pools?
the
We
pools.
came up with questions to ask the chat like as a pool, but it's
A
fine.
poll?
It's fine. Nobody loves us.
Should we close the window?
Okay.
This is true.
No, it won't bleed that much. This is
Soup salad sandwich, boys.
Soup salad sandwich. Okay, what are we doing this time? Steak?
Steak.
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 There
so.
it is.
Alex disagreed. So we all had already agreed in the past that steak was salad, but this vote has to be unanimous. So,
We
Alex,
got to convince Alex.
yes, we say. Actually, Javi, you had a good explanation on why you think steak is a salad.
Yep. Okay, so take a salad. Okay, you know a salad. The conventions of a salad, right?
Right.
Yeah.
What happens if you eat all of the salad pieces except one? Is it still a salad?
Audio
Like
sound.
you just you eat everything except for one leaf of lettuce.
That's.
Is
good
it not a
question.
salad?
I feel it's so weird. I feel like it would be the remnants of a salad, but I don't know. It seems like just a simple.
It's
leaf
not a
to
soup.
me.
It's not a pie.
It's not a sandwich.
It's not a sandwich.
Sounds
The
like a
remnants
salad.
of a salad. It's a salad in the
Right.
making, if possible.
Yeah, if you want to go for seconds.
So,
But how does that translate to steak?
A steak could be a salad if you add more things onto the plate. It's like a salad because it like same logic as the last leaf of lettuce. But it
Yeah.
could be a better salad once you add mashed potatoes.
If you
on
add
the side or
greens,
something.
yeah, I could see why steak would be implemented into a
But-
salad.
Same thing with the last leaf of lettuce. Is the last leaf of the salad not a salad?
That's so. I feel like I just want to say no, but like
it's a salad. Man.
it's the remnants of a salad. I don't know. Now we're getting into weird. Like if you want to go to absolutes, then yeah, it would be a salad.
If you can't tell by the
Yeah.
red light, Sith here, definitely dealing in absolutes. Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, did we
Yeah,
want to
so
do
that
no
part would be
logos until we all have a logo?
I
Isn't
don't
it-
mind if you guys have logos. I just need to make one for myself at this point.
And Alex is he's gonna stop streaming, so I don't know if he's gonna ever have a logo.
Well,
It's okay.
I'm gonna.
What's up,
progress
Morgan and
us.
Alex? What's up, Derek? Is black.
Oh, yo, Derek.
How's it going, my guy?
There's one defining feature that we know of.
Yep.
Yeah.
He is in fact black.
He is
It'd be a little weird if he wasn't.
Yeah, just a bit.
like brown.
Just
Well,
like
no,
super pale white.
No, like Brogan.
Oh, Brogan being brown.
All right, so wait. Are we on a consensus here?
It's a
Well,
salad.
hold on.
Steak.
Wait, hold on. I did
Holding
have
on.
an issue with this argument.
Okay.
So you know how because salad generally is the idea, like there's some sort of leafy green involved.
Sure.
With all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And we're saying that a steak is a salad just because it can be a part of a salad.
Yeah.
But my question is, then how does that not apply to any of the other foods?
Like,
I mean,
like
could have
a part
steak
of
in
a soup could be soup. A part of a steak could be a part of a sandwich. There are tons of steak sandwiches. In fact, I see steak more on sandwiches than I do on salad. So why is salad getting that special treatment?
You can have lettuce in a sandwich too. That doesn't make the salad any more sandwich.
well, because a
Okay.
steak meal, like, right, you're gonna have a steak with like, maybe you're having steak frites, so steak and fries. Maybe you're having steak and potato. Like all the steak meals, that's like a big steak on your plate. All of those meals would fit into the category of a salad. So if you reduce it to like, oh, well, it's just a steak sitting by itself, well, it's like, ideally you'd have more things with that which would then constitute a salad.
If it's a bad steak. But yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm just saying
Well-
that I'm showing where that argument is just like a little
Sure.
loose.
Well, going kind of like
Okay.
going with the whole sandwich idea, because it's like if you have one piece of bread left over,
Mm-hmm.
does that make it a sandwich? Because one piece of bread could be.
No,
a
we
crouton in a
define
salad.
sandwich as two. It's sandwich.
Okay.
Like there's
Yeah.
two pieces of something holding something together.
Yes.
So then is one piece of bread left over not a sandwich anymore?
No, it changes from sandwich to salad.
yes.
Sandwich. So
Sandwich
so they
to
can
salad.
alternate.
Yes.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Depending on
I'm
the
white now
context.
that I have a good credit score.
Oh,
Welcome to the club. Welcome.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, I still need to boost my credits.
Hola, blonde panda, 7 on the ends. Okay.
Hola.
Well, fine. Yes,
Um,
I vote. I
this
vote
is-
steak as a sandwich or salad.
Steak is a salad.
Out of the three,
Salad.
yeah, I would say it's more.
Okay.
Okay.
We're unanimous. All right. We can move on now.
Yes.
Hey everybody.
Welcome to the
um,
official start of the podcast. This is episode 3. Episode
Yeah.
this week is horror, but you know what it is. We always start off with media of the week.
I
Jamie,
completely
let's
forgot
pull those
mine.
graphics up. One second. All right,
Those
there we
graphics
go.
up, I would like to introduce Alex as our guest of the week. I need to adjust the camera just a little bit.
Nice
Just-
hand.
Thanks, man.
Delightful.
And I didn't succeed at all. I'm just gonna get closer to the thing.
I think yeah.
I want to see your pores.
Anyways, yeah, so this is media of the week where we all go around and talk about like anything that we would recommend that has
Mhm.
anything to do with like media consumption, video games to comic books. Give me whatever you want.
Yeah.
Javi, did you want to start?
Sure, I'll start us off. I have a band recommendation and their most recent release. This band is very personal to me. I know the band members well. It is a song called "Good Day" by Intero, and would you look at that? It looks like we have a band member right here. We have. Oh my God, Morgan! Would you like to tell us a little bit more about this band?
Intero is my band. I formed it, unfortunately, a few months right before quarantine, but we did manage to get out a few gigs, and then our single "Good Day." You can check it out on any streaming platform. "Good Day" by Intero, and my girlfriend wrote it, and she sings in it. I play the ukulele. It's a great song. Thank
And
you
they
very
and they
much.
won't let me back in the band, so bully Morgan to get him to do that.
Yeah, we can bully Morgan. All right. Anyways, for game recommendations for this week, I recently finished Spider-Man.
Wait, hold on.
Oh,
Swagola said hi. Hi, Swagola.
Oh.
Eugene,
007.
Eugene Catalan sends no audio, buddy. Can they not hear us?
He's wrong. He's trolling
What?
you.
Is he trolling?
Morgan.
Bro, I fall for this every single time.
Morgan.
you are very
I
gullible.
hate-
What's up, Hot Wheels fan account? Good to see you.
Anyways, Spider-Man. I finished the Miles Morales game on PS5, and so I'm
Oh,
recommending both games. Both are fucking phenomenal. I think they're the best Spider-Man games that have been produced. I struggle to think of one that can beat them. And they feel really nice, like just swinging as Spider-Man and shit. That's hype as fuck. So if you have a PlayStation 4 or a PlayStation 5, consider getting the Spider-Man games. They're amazing. One of them got close to getting Game of the Year. I think
Yeah.
it was the first one.
It was the first one.
And
Yeah, it was
it was
so
the first one.
good.
And then the movie is Pacific Rim. And I love it. It's one of my favorite, I guess, mech movies. There aren't many, especially not Western releases. But this one was really fun, and especially fun because they just released an anime on Netflix for Pacific Rim.
Oh, shit.
Which is
Oh.
a 7-episode anime thing. They're leading into a second season, considering the state that the season ended on.
Have you seen
Really
it?
fun too. I recommend. Yeah, I saw it. I finished it last week with my brother,
Oh.
and then really fun. Guillermo del Toro. He's one of my favorite directors of all time. He developed Pacific Rim, the original one. I don't recommend the second one as much. Pacific Rim Uprising. That one was kind of booty. Yeah, that just about covers it for mine. Who's next?
I'll go next. So for my, I with school, I don't have much time to game, but the one game I have been playing is with friends, and it's Star Wars: The Old Republic. It's an MMORPG online. Um, and if you are a fan of Star Wars at all or MMOs, I'd say it's up there with one of the really good ones. You can choose if you want to be like a Sith or a Jedi, light side or dark side. A lot of different job classes and specialties that you can pick, and it's all the storylines have been lots of fun to go through so far. So I would recommend that. For a movie, we just recently went through watching the original Dark Knight trilogy, or well, we've only seen the first two, but um rewatching it, I've seen them before, but going back through and watching it, I realized how incredible the cast was, and the acting is like S tier. Like it's an incredible movie. The Dark Knight, Heath Ledger, Morgan Freeman, all of them. They're amazing. And for an anime, I'm watching this one called Jobless Reincarnation. I will have to give a pre-warning that the anime covers and a lot of like iffy things that people could be pretty uncomfortable with. But it does it in a way that because the main character is written so that you hate him because of these things that his character, and it's sort of written so that you can slowly see his character development, but still deals with some crap that some people might not like. But anyways,
Interesting.
that's what I would recommend.
Okay, I'll go next. So my anime, I haven't even finished this one. I'm on, what episode are we on? 4, Morgan? Okay, cool. Ignore me. It's called The Promised Neverland.
Eddie says he can't, or Eugene Cataline, sorry, says he can't hear us in the audio.
No, Morgan. Oh my
He
goodness.
said it was because
Oh,
his Twitch muted.
Yeah.
I was just making sure because if
Read
that
the
was like
chats.
an issue,
I-
that's what I was
look,
doing.
the
That's what I was
chats,
doing.
Yeah, your one job is to read the chat.
Everyone
here.
quiet, everyone quiet. Let's think about this.
Okay.
Let's think
Alright,
about
alright.
this. If it were muted, more than just one guy would be saying it, right?
Okay.
But now the
Okay.
chat's
No,
gonna
well,
like
you
take
can't-
that.
you can't
Now the
fuel the
chat's gonna
flames like
take that. Morgan, just please. Okay, the show, The Promised Neverland.
Yeah.
Oh my god, is it good? Oh my goodness. I've been thinking about it for top right muted. Oh, my bad, guys. I've been thinking about it so much. Like all day today. I haven't been able to watch it because I was working on like the graphics and like my notes for this, but oh, I'm so excited to continue. I don't even know how to like describe it without spoiling. So I guess it's like kids in an orphanage and there's a really dark secret, and yeah, it's amazing. Anyways, movie. Have you guys seen Snowpiercer?
Is that's one with Chris Evans, right?
Yeah, on the train.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Earth like has frozen over, and the last remains of humanity is on this train that's like circling the globe basically. And there's like a caste system where like the rich people live at the front of the train and the super poor live at the very back. And there's like an uprising. And it's such a trippy movie, and there's like all these crazy conspiracies that it's like some unofficial sequel to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which sounds weird, but it's like,
Huh.
no, I'm not gonna say that it's wrong. That's all I'll say. And now my song for the 3rd week in a row, because I have a requirement for this song. No one has said, hey Sam, that slowed and reverb stuff you've been talking about, it's crazy. No one has reached out to me saying, hey, I listened to that song you recommended. So for the 3rd time, Kingston by Faye Webster, slowed and reverbed. Go listen to it and then go tell me what you think. Please, this song is amazing, you guys. And I'm going to keep recommending it until someone gives me the feedback that I want.
Nobody do it.
Fair. No, do it. Otherwise, we won't stop. Also, Morgan, right quick before we get to Alex, Morgan, if you are worried about the chat lying to you, you can audio check our stream. I don't know if you knew that.
I just did, but
Okay.
like,
Okay.
you know,
Morgan. Okay, Alex, your medias of the week.
who was also our guest for this week.
I would say for anime, although I did not anticipate it ever being a show I would enjoy, is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It is so wacky, so artistic, and I would honestly say it just goes 0 to 100 in every single like form. Like the fighting, the character development, and I guess what I kind of like about it is just how it follows a family lineage. and all the like troubles that they keep on having until I guess it's the part 4 is when that changes. I haven't gotten that far, but honestly, it's one of those shows where you just have to jump in on it and just watch it, and it just gets crazy. If you don't care for the crazy artistic stuff,
Jojo.
Jojo.
yeah, it's a meme. It's a
Dio.
meme. You see all those memes out there.
Jotaro.
So
It's very memeable.
yeah,
It has
Very.
always been.
Very.
I mean, I guess it's a classic now. Honestly,
Are we doing favorite JoJo's? For
Second.
those who have seen it.
100% second.
I haven't seen all of them,
the
so
one
I
who's
can't-
like an asshole to everyone and is pretty
Yeah,
great.
second.
There's a
Yeah.
couple assholes.
Yeah, I was gonna
There's
say
a couple.
But I just
they're all like the 3, the part 2.
I loved so much how he's like, next I'm going to do this, this, and this, and then he like,
Yeah. Alrighty, so then I guess the next thing I would recommend would be honestly the Monster Hunter franchise, but due to the older games being clunky and world kind of like being, I wouldn't say dead now, but it's kind of finished. They're not going to keep on adding it to it. Is Monster Hunter Rise? That's the newest one. If you have a Switch, definitely highly recommend. It's a gorgeous game compared to a lot of like whatever it's related to with its console. So
Yeah.
like for a Switch game, it's really good. If you've played World, you would completely understand like the graphics are incredible. And it's really fun because it's challenging and you feel really cool defeating these like badass monsters, and you can play with friends.
That's one of the best aspects, I
Yeah.
think, is being able to play with your friends
Yeah.
on big monsters.
And then you can also like play on your own if you want to.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like replay value to it, I would say. And
Yeah.
it's like I
Yeah.
said, it's one of those things where you just gotta try it out,
Yeah.
get a feel
Super
for
fun.
it. It's
Super
very
fun.
the combat's most closely to Dark Souls in a weird way.
Yeah,
Except
I can agree with that. Actually, yeah.
because it's like very much some people would call it clunky, but I just like it because it's very much like you just put in a input, you know what you're going to be doing. It's not, and it's like real time.
Yeah.
That's another thing I love about it is you have to learn the monsters moves if you want to get good in the game.
Yeah.
Game is something to look forward to. The movie, on the other hand, isn't.
No.
But I think you brought a different movie for a recommendation.
Yeah, so my movie would definitely be following the theme horror. Probably one of my favorite horror movies would be The Babadook,
Mm.
Yeah.
for sure.
Have you guys seen it? I have not.
No.
I have. I actually have. I saw
Yeah.
it close to its release, like a while ago. It's
Okay.
like a 6-year-old movie now, I think.
Ooh.
Like
Yeah,
7.
holy cow, that's really a long time. But I guess the reason why I recommend it, being a connoisseur of multiple horror elements for different mediums and all that type of stuff, it's a good all-rounder. It has a really good story. It has some good jump scares, and weirdly enough, one thing that I do like about it is you still kind of like after you're done watching it, you still look around corners and like, but you're not
Yeah.
like absolutely paranoid.
That's why I
Mm.
prefer not to watch horror movies.
But that's why I would recommend it because of the fact that it's like,
I hate that anxiety, man.
Yeah, all right. This leads us into today's theme.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about horror as a genre, not as specifically movies, games. We're talking about everything.
Yeah. And how it works within the different
Yeah.
subgenres, right? Different mediums of horror.
Now, none of us here are writing film. I guess game developers, film majors, writing majors.
We're
We have
consumers.
we're consumers of this
Mhm.
all. So we are giving our opinion to you guys as consumers
Yeah.
of things that scare us shitless.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So
Let's
Yeah.
continue off of the Babadook for a second because
Okay.
that was an incredible movie.
yeah.
I
so
guess
like,
it would
why-
technically
why-
count as a creature feature. Anyways, what?
why did it work? Why was it so effective? If you could narrow it down.
Without spoiling the movie too much, and I'm certain Alex has some things to say about it too. It's very emotional. in like some really nerve-wracking ways.
Mm.
Like some of the aspects of the movie, and it isn't a conventional horror movie where its only um objective is to scare the shit out of you.
Mhm.
It has like a big overarching story and narrative.
Okay.
That just also happens to have some spooky shit. I don't know, Alex, what you got to say about this? You're
I,
the one that brought it up. You've seen it most recently too.
going off of it, off of what you were saying, I would definitely argue a lot of the stuff is like psychological to me,
Mhm.
and that's what really gets me. I love
Yeah.
psychological horror.
Yeah.
Well-
I don't. I don't like. Well, I don't like horror of any kind. But you guys have still forced me to watch this all my life, so we can
It's
look
hilarious.
into it. Dialect Z about the Babadook says it worked because of the suspense. It
Mhm.
builds on the horror film around tension rather than cheap jump scares.
Right.
Like the
Okay.
idea
Yeah.
of tension.
And this is kind of what Alex is talking about, the psychological aspect of it, more so than like big scary monster on screen that
Mhm.
makes loud noise.
Yeah.
It's like one thing that I've heard about it is it's supposed to be representing kind of the psychological trauma that the family has, and you can like, I guess what really hit me was how you could feel that, like
Ooh.
the disturbing relationship that the mother and child had,
Yeah.
and how the monster, even though it's like scary because it's a monster, the true fear was like what's going to happen next. Is
Mm.
the child
And
gonna
so
lose it? Is the mother
Uh,
gonna lose it?
we've got some spoiler warnings for some
I'm gonna be
some
spoiling
books,
everything I
movies.
talk about.
So
I'm gonna be
if
spoiling everything I
how
talk
about this?
about.
We'll present to you guys the example that we'll be using, game,
Yeah.
movie, show, otherwise. If somebody does not want to be here for the spoilers, we'll try our best to reduce it. But you guys got to tell us that we're going into something that you don't want to get spoiled. Basically,
That's not true.
So
We're watching.
I did not.
Movie and he
I
had
did not watch a
nightmares.
Leprechaun. I remember watching the Leprechaun movie, but I didn't get night. That was a bad movie. Even I wasn't scared by that. That is not true.
Sounds like a lie.
yeah.
Okay.
I think the
but-
fact that he got defensive about that.
Yeah. It was a little telling. A little telling.
Anyway,
I
I wanted to build off of what Alex said. One horror movie that I have seen, that plays on that idea a lot is Hereditary.
Mm.
Yes, I was going to also say that. Hereditary is a great movie. Sam, you had something to say too, right?
Well, it's about the thing I want to talk about, but I'm sure I'll be able to transition into it. So keep going.
Yeah.
Hereditary is like some of the scariest parts about Hereditary, and Hereditary spoilers. There's your spoiler. We need to get a spoiler warning at some point.
I told
like a
we're
big-
spoiling
like a big
everything
red
we're
flag.
talking about.
Yeah,
It's just gonna happen. You just gotta
it's
be
just
ready
gonna
for
happen. We apologize in advance.
it. Be
Anyways,
prepared for like a lot of horror things to be spoiled.
Yeah, the scariest parts of that movie, Hereditary,
Mm-hmm.
weren't when like spooky shit was going on. It was like when the family was tearing itself apart and they were all screaming at each other. Some of that shit, like ooh.
Yeah,
that-
because it gets real. Like I find in horror movies, like some of the scariest aspects is how easy it is to see yourself in maybe that situation, right? How relatable the characters become, because that adds to the tension so much. Because it's like it's harder for you to detach yourself from what's going on in the movie, and that's part of what
Absolutely.
makes it so scary.
I think the thing that was so, and it's weird for me to say this because I don't like horror that much because it scares me,
Mm-hmm.
but that was so beautiful about the film was the buildup.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting, well, her head getting decapitated, and I wasn't expecting really anything that the movie was foreshadowing to. Even though I've seen, The Conjuring, The Paranormal Activities, a bunch of movies that are similar in value to it. I guess this is more cultish, but
Yeah.
the thing that this movie did so well and terrifying me in was the sound design. Actually,
Ooh.
I'm studying to be a Sonic Arts music production major, so I'm learning everything from Foley to sound design to music composition.
Yeah.
And this movie brilliantly designed its sound. Something that's always like I can hear in like the back of my head is when the mom is sawing off her head at the very end of the film. Do you guys remember that?
I haven't seen this movie.
Yeah, with the wire or whatever.
Yeah. So there's
Ooh.
this scene where the mom gets possessed and she starts chasing her son, and her son runs into the attic, and the music does a great job of like building it up, and the direction does a good job of bringing in and bringing out the audience, but the mom, instead of like killing him, she just like she starts sawing off her head at a really,
It fucked up. It was fucked up.
It
I'm
was
looking for the words
up.
fucked up.
Yeah, it sounds fucked up, man.
it was the worst thing, bro.
Weirdly
I'm not
enough,
gonna
for
kill you. I'm gonna
me-
scar you for life. Jesus.
Bruh.
For me, the ending was actually the weakest point for me.
Interesting.
I don't know why. It just got a little too supernatural too quick.
A little
and it just,
campy
I
almost.
actually was
Yeah.
laughing at the end because it was just like, what
I mean,
the
it's a lot-
hell just
Yeah,
happened?
it's a lot. All right.
Mm.
Well, since we can't talk about Hereditary for this entire hour, why don't we go
Course
ahead and
not.
move on to Sam? Bonus points if you can make a seamless transition.
Okay, well, I mean, I was talking about earlier how the realism is one of the biggest parts, and Morgan, you were saying how this was like there are similar movies in this kind of vein of horror, but like it had a different spin. It sounds a little similar to Train to Busan, because the zombie genre is so overplayed nowadays, but I forget the director's name, but they were able to take such a fresh new look on the zombies. First of all, they were like faster, right? In shows like The Walking Dead, the zombies are slow and really stupid, and so like the main characters have time to think and strategize and plan their reactions, right? And that gives the viewer a certain level of comfort as they're watching it, because they're like, oh, I'm sure they could figure out. Train to Busan, you don't have that. It's like this guy is on a train. He's like his recently divorced wife is pissed off because he like isn't caring for his daughter very well. So he like books a last minute train ticket to like get her over there so they can like spend this child's birthday together. And then like the zombie outbreak happens, and it's immediately like they're running from the start. And as this is happening, like they're forced to like figure out how to survive on the spot. It gets freaky. And then once they start to get safe, a new thing pops up, right? Like the front car blocks them off, and now they're all of a sudden stuck between like a locked door and a bunch of zombies. Or what happens next?
We got some Busan fans in the chat. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
It's a
Has
great
anybody else
movie.
seen the movie? I have not, but
I have seen,
Well-
and we saw you saw the prequel, but you
We
didn't
saw the
see the
prequel.
original Train to Busan. That's kind of weird.
And I'll talk about the prequel later, because oof.
This is
But
that's also another thing.
another
Yeah.
big part is like the movie starts off, the main character, the main guy, he's like a hedge fund manager, and he's a prick. Like he sucks ass. He almost like kills two innocent people in the very beginning. And then you like watch him like as he's struggling, trying to save his daughter, like he grows as a person, and then all of a sudden you start caring for him, and then he's in more and more dangerous situations, and it like gets more tense because you're like, wait, no, now I kind of want this guy to survive. And then like by the end, he ends up sacrificing himself to save his daughter, and it's like the saddest and like most like the sweetest thing ever at the same time. It's so well done, like because you almost imagine yourself in that situation. If you like you had someone to protect, like how would you do that, right? Someone who can't fend for themselves, like a 5-year-old girl in a zombie apocalypse, how are you going to get them out? Like what are the choices you're going to have to make? And this movie kind of puts you in his shoes, and
Yeah.
it's fantastic. It's really
So
fantastic.
would you say that the reason it's a good, effective horror piece is because you develop a personal attachment to the
Well,
main character?
Yeah, because
and it carries you through.
the characters are natural and they're realistic. They're not like, no one's superhuman. No one's some badass zombie killing machine like Rick Grimes who's just never gonna die. Like they're all very human
they're you.
and
They
very
could be you.
flawed. Yes, very flawed and very imperfect people who are just like thrown into this dog eat dog world, and they're forced to figure it out, and you just kind of start rooting for them, man. Yeah.
really quick, CBAB, Squash Hawk, and AV95, thank you very much for the follows.
Oh yeah, thanks guys.
Also, Zingod, it was the discussion was steak today, and we agreed that steak is actually a salad.
Yeah, deep
Yep.
down we know that steak is salad.
Cabin in the Woods. Have any of you guys seen Cabin?
I
in the
have
Woods?
not.
That's the one. Is that the
No.
one with Jennifer Lawrence? I think that is.
I haven't seen it.
I
I don't
just
know.
heard good things about it. I
have as
want
well.
to. It's on my list.
But Sam, what
on.
I'm getting at is that one of the key things that I think we can all agree on with horror is like that relatability to the character, the ability to live in the world with the character.
But there's another thing on top of it, and that's that the visuals, like the zombies themselves, as you can see, like this guy right here, or like the bottom left there. Not you, Javi, bottom left of the graphic. Like the visuals are stunning and they're gruesome and they're realistic. Now, if you juxtapose this with the prequel to this movie, Seal Station, it's like an animated version. The characters are relatable. They're imperfect people. You could see yourself in their shoes, but the animation
all
just
assholes.
takes it out of it.
And
It's just like you just don't really feel it as much because it's like it's kind of goofy instead of being scary. It goes from being a horror movie to like a slightly grittier Scooby-Doo, and it's just like I think there's a lot of things that play in. It has to be real enough for you to see yourself in their shoes, right? I don't see myself as an animated character, so like if you're gonna put an animated person in a zombie apocalypse, like you're gonna have to like do a lot more legwork in like sound design, characters, and like the setting and the plot
Everything.
in order to make it more suspenseful and thrilling. And this movie did not do it. It just didn't work. And
Yeah,
and I think that's an unfortunate pitfall of like a lot of animated horror.
I think after looking at images of Cabin in the Woods, I have seen this movie and it was really good.
It was.
I want to
really,
watch
really
it.
good.
I haven't seen it.
Let's,
like seven
next movie night.
first
Next
two.
movie night.
Yeah. Okay.
What's the horror
Um,
genre on its head? How does it flip the horror genre on its head?
I remember. So when I was looking up,
Well,
like,
we don't
history,
really want to know, right? We want to watch
We'll
it.
watch it. We'll watch it later. Yeah.
Okay.
But
I'm
what were
just-
you saying?
I'm not gonna-
What were you saying,
a
Alex?
brief thing, like it made pretty much horror movies more complex. Like it gave it a complex plot because prior to that, a lot of horror movies were actually low budget
Yeah.
and it sold really well. So they just kept it low budget and kept on selling really well until people kind of got bored of that. And then Cabin in the Woods is one of those like perfect examples of when horror movies started developing a really complex plot, a higher budget.
Shift in them.
Oh, I see.
It did really well with that. I've
Interesting.
only seen like clips of it, but it's definitely on my list.
So it's
Cool.
it's
Uh,
almost
it's pretty
it was
good.
like
It's pretty
a
good.
historical pivot in the horror movie genre.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
like talking about the same thing as Train to Busan. I would argue that like having a good scare means that you have to have like protagonists that you can relate to, and that's probably the reason why in no other medium compares to horror games.
Ooh,
I
yeah.
think that
Games
personally
are
for
really
me,
something.
Mhm.
horror games, video games are the most effective medium when it comes to delivering a scare.
Yeah.
It is almost impossible for me to like a good horror game for me to sit down and be totally calm the whole way.
So what's a good
I
horror
can-
game for you?
Yeah.
Oh, for me, Resident Evil 2. I've actually been playing that recently. This is the most
Yeah.
recent.
Well, would you look at that?
horror
We have slides.
We have fun. It's almost like we planned it. Yeah, Resident Evil 2 has been. I'm not done with it actually. It is a 20-hour game, and it's divided into two main campaigns following both of the main protagonists.
Yeah.
And this game has been insanely fun, which is a huge plus, towards the game's like actual enjoyment level. But in addition to that, like the way that it scares you is really unique. Take the setting of Resident Evil 2. You're basically a cop or a recruit cop. It literally is your first day on the force, the day that the zombie apocalypse broke out.
Oof.
You have to navigate the walls and the interior of the police, the police precinct,
Precinct, yeah.
avoiding zombies and doing puzzles along the way. And it's a very simple premise. The zombies in and of themselves are pretty scary, but that's one of the most impactful moments of horror in that game. Didn't really come from the zombies. It was the things that I was supposed, like the puzzles and shit. Because there comes a point in the game where you are introduced to an enemy that is unkillable, unstoppable, and chases you down throughout the entirety of the map.
That reminds me of Outlast.
Mhm.
And I have many comparisons to make to Outlast, actually.
Yeah.
The idea being that like he walks at maybe like 2 feet per minute.
But he's
you kind of
always
have to
coming.
just he's always coming.
He's always coming, dude.
A simple task, navigating the police precinct was before that point in time a very simple task. You know, you could open up your map and be like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to go, and then you would just do it by memory. You know, you wouldn't have to look at your map anymore because you've been through this area. There is one building that you are in for the entirety of the 20-hour game.
Oh shit.
So
Okay.
for I don't know about the other route because I've only played one of the 2 main campaigns, but as far as the first main campaign goes,
Yeah.
you are in the police precinct for 10 hours. So you have to every nook and cranny, every room, everything.
Yeah.
Navigating it isn't a problem, but then when you have something chase you, all of that memory that you had about how to navigate the fucking precinct just goes out the window. You forget everything about it. Conducting puzzles under like an immediate threat of death has been one of the most challenging things that I've done in that game.
Dude.
There was a point it turns out this big bad boss couldn't enter the room that I was supposed to do this key puzzle in, but I didn't know that. And so he's chasing me all around the map. I arrived. It's like a Scooby-Doo chase almost. Fucking goddamn.
Walking across the screen and then they come out
Yeah,
another door
right.
back there.
Oh my god.
Like, let's
We
bust
end-
out of here.
It was a Scooby-Doo shit. It was some Scooby-Doo shit for sure. We enter a room. We have to do a puzzle in there, but we can hear his footsteps on the floor outside of us.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god, we couldn't do 2+2 for if our life depended on it. We could not do that shit.
Bro, that makes so much sense though, because you're panicking.
It was so no, straight up, man. I was
Being
straight up
in it.
panicking
No,
the whole time.
Outlast
that's
is similar. Outlast
Yeah,
is
that-
very
yeah.
similar.
Yeah.
Mm.
You want to
Living
talk
in
about
the
Atlas? Or
Well,
yeah, it's very in the moment. We haven't given Alex and Morgan a chance to bring up their
Sure,
examples.
and-
Why don't we let that
and
happen first?
we're a little behind on chat too. We have some things.
Oh.
Oh yeah, actually, so there is a big request to watch Cabin in the Woods tonight.
Oh, I'm down.
Sure. I got
I
nothing.
mean, yeah, we can if you guys really want to. I'll be doing homework during it and probably closing my eyes for most of it. But for those of you who would actually enjoy that, you're totally welcome to
We
watch
should
it in
do
my
movie
crib.
nights.
Cool.
Nonetheless, going from that, I just wanted to talk about that. The beauty of horror games, in my opinion, in that is that because like you're playing that character, you're living in the
Yeah.
moment.
You are that
Give-
person.
If that were me in that mansion solving that puzzle with Scooby Doo's villain behind me, like I wouldn't be capable. Is the issue? It wouldn't compute with me.
No, it absolutely did not
Um,
happen. I could not think. I could not remember my own name. I could not remember. The only thing I was doing was pissing my pants there in my chair.
Dude.
Like that was fucking brutal.
In Outlast, there's this scene where you're running from a similar big bad dude, and he chases you into this tiny little elevator, and you get pulled up, and then there's this doctor there, and you're like, oh, finally. He straps you into a chair though, and he chops your fingers off, starts like slowly cutting them off, and then like he leaves the room because he hears a noise. And then you like bust out of this chair and you have to like sneak around like his domain and like you make one wrong footstep and he's like, huh? And he just starts running at you and like you have to explore this place that you've never been in, figure out like where these like certain switches are so you can get like the key so you can unlock the elevator and get out of there. And you have to figure all of this out while this crazy doctor is running around trying to chop you into little bits. I did it on stream and I got really colorful with the words I was saying and I was screaming a lot and it was not fun. Like something about just being that person making the decisions, like, oh, it's so visceral. It's so it's a great medium games are. And there's a lot of different ways that you can do it. You don't necessarily have to be running from something. You can be like in like a psychological type horror game. And if you guys don't mind, I kind of want to transition to a different horror game that I've played
Go ahead.
called.
We got to make sure that we get Alex and Morgan's examples in here at some point. So
We will.
why don't we go ahead and go through it quickly?
This will transition
Yeah.
into one of the ones Morgan wants to say.
Yeah, that's right. Fuck.
This fucking game, dude. Doki Doki Literature Club. On the surface, it looks like a cute little anime dating sim, but just underneath, it's this hellhole of just powerlessness and hopelessness. You start off, right, you join this book club and you've got like these 4 anime girls who are all like trying to get at you basically, and you like can cater to them and start trying to like go for one of them, but then things start to derail because like based off of the choices you make, like your best friend ends up hanging herself and you find her body, and then it's like, oh wait, what the fuck, this game isn't what I thought it was. And then it gets really weird from there. Like it goes above and beyond it. Like the game restarts, except that character that died is just gone, and it's like replaying it and it starts like glitching out and getting weird. And then like slowly by the end, I got the end with like this character Monica, who's like semi-sentient and conscious that is portrayed that she's conscious she's in a game and wants to like form this connection with you. And I don't know how the devs did it, but they figured out a way for like the game to know what your actual name is, and she calls you by your name. And then you go into the game files and you look and you see that like straight up the other characters' files have been deleted. And the only way to stop this Monica character is to delete the file in like the local files on your PC out of the game.
Shit to you.
And it gets so in your head and like makes you so paranoid and weird. Like, oh, it's a masterpiece. It's so good.
Oh, have
like,
you not?
I have not played this.
Oh,
so
this game is nuts. There's multiple endings.
Oh, it's fucking crazy. And like, like looking at the. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say something that was nuts because I was watching his streams of this. It knew the fact that he was streaming, and it referenced that when in the very last monologue.
Oh yeah.
She said, "Yeah." In the chat. She's like, "Hey chat, sorry I can't really read what you're saying right now, but I hope you're
it was so creepy, dude."
And I had never seen that before. That's something really interesting. They broke the fourth wall on a whole nother level.
And like, also you can see in some of the like the slides here, like they do little different graphical things to show that the game was glitching out. Like the purple-haired girl, they would replace her anime eyes with like real human eyes that are like weirdly looking around, and it's like the teddy bear with teeth, human teeth.
Uncanny Valley.
Yeah, the Uncanny Valley. It hit that perfectly, and it was so freaky. Like I would just start sweating.
There's a case to be made that because it's like in a cutesy like fucking anime shit, it becomes even scarier than it would have been if it was like a movie that had really visceral, gory animations the whole time. Like something about like, you know, anime and like fucking spook shit.
You have these preset ideas of what anime is and like dating sims are, I guess. Like, I mean, I haven't really played one in the past, but I didn't assume that my best friend was gonna hang herself. I did, like, that just doesn't seem obvious, you know? That just doesn't seem like something that's normally gonna happen. And yeah, I think that was a big part because they were able to juxtapose like these very common tropes, play on what the viewer or the player's expectations were, and then just hit them with something out of left field constantly.
Haliopino, I know you're excited that we're talking about waifus. I'm sure you've heard about this game, but like these are not the waifus that you want in your life.
These are not the waifus you are looking for.
No, not at all. But you're right. I mean, this is one of the few times where something that was anime related really worked with me with horror.
Right.
I've seen the biggest medium for horror that I've consumed is probably anime. But it's hard to say horror because I'll give an example of a horror anime to Alex and he'll be like, no, that's just a thriller. But really, I mean, because horror is those horrifying elements, you know, body dysmorphia or gore or or slasher killers, psychological ghosts. And something I wanted to talk about is how, as a medium in horror, anime hasn't been doing the best.
Mm-mm.
It's so we got two examples of anime here where it does it good and where it does it bad. And on 9 out of 10 of the times, I'd say horror in anime doesn't do it well. So Parasite the Maxim is actually one of my all-time favorite animes, but they have a lot of body dysmorphia horror involved in it, and that's I can sit back and I can laugh at that. But if I were to see that on a live screen movie, it would probably scar me for a while. I'd see the image in my head over and over again, because that's what happens anytime I see any sort of horrifying element in a live action movie. It scars me and I hate it. But with anime, I'm completely fine afterwards, and that's not something.
Except for Soul
that
Station.
Well, I mean, it gets me paranoid, but like I don't close my eyes and I see it perfectly burned into my memory. And so I think with anime as a platform, something that a YouTube channel, Mother's Basement, brought up really well is that anime in its own art form is these segmented images that realistically these people get paid like $30 a frame to draw, right? So they don't have the time to make these super fluid, lifelike movements, super detailed things that can like shock you to your core, sort of like Junji Ito that we're going to be talking about in a bit.
Yeah.
That can actually have that sort of horrifying element on you.
Yeah.
They have to take. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say it almost always has to be a psychological approach to it.
Exactly. So
There's
yeah.
Go for it. I think we're all going to the same idea and we all want to say it at the same time.
Where it works is the Promised Neverland.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude. Yes. Please explain, but don't spoil it for me. This is the one you can't spoil because I will slap you.
I won't spoil it. But so in the Promised Neverland, their version of focusing on horror is completely different. They focus completely on sort of what Dialect Z talked about earlier on the Babadook, is the idea of building tension in just about any area you can with a medium like this, with music, sound effects, direction is huge.
Yeah. Yes.
And character development and plot and this idea of not knowing what's going to happen. You know, like when you feel helpless as the viewer, that's when it works. In Parasite, I never felt truly helpless. He had a superpower is one reason, and other horror animes, AOT is technically horror, and you feel pretty helpless as a viewer, but also at the same time, Levi breaks that wall a bit.
Yeah.
Other horror animes don't do a good job of that. Promised Neverland does.
Probably the most.
Yeah,
they're all 10-year-olds.
It makes you feel so. You want to roll up into fetal position, you know what I mean? Because you don't know how do they have the power to do anything, and that's the beauty of that, which unfortunately never really works in anime. But a medium that I do think that horror works in that I don't actually think about often is the medium of like books and the medium of audiobooks, just the power of your imagination. That you don't have to rely on anime and there's still frames to form your imagination, but just your own imagination.
So Alex, you like a lot of H.P. Lovecraft, right? And
I would say like I like a lot of more audiobooks and just books in general when it comes to horror. Mostly because I have a weird history when it comes to horror. So when I was younger, I was very prone to like really severe, like almost night terrors.
Okay.
So when I see stuff visually, like anime, for example, it didn't seem that bad. That's how bad they were.
Oh, I see.
So it was very unique for me with that weird imagination that kind of made it like okay. I mean, I would say like for example, Mushishi was very interesting because even though it wasn't anime, it had like very weird vibes, like almost dream-like vibes. Yeah. Like what I meant by
Mushishi works. People agree that the eeriness that Mushishi brings, that sort of tension and that innocence that
Mhm.
it breaks. It
Yeah.
breaks the innocence.
Yeah. But I mean, and again, going back all the way to the thing of being relatable, like a lot of H.P. Lovecraft's stories are usually someone that's just trying to seek something out of the universe, and it eventually, like, they just get so obsessed with it, and they try to understand it more and more to the point where usually the classic trope of H.P. Lovecraft is where they go mad, right?
Oh yeah.
So it, and I guess one thing that books do really, really well that almost no other medium has been able to do is cosmic horror, which
Yeah.
H.P. Lovecraft is the founder.
Mm.
And
You really quickly explain what cosmic
so
horror is.
so cosmic horror is pretty much the fear of the unknown, like a higher power.
Yeah.
And like, for example, what was it? That was famous, like the mist or whatever. The constant
Yeah.
fear of like, oh, what's behind, like in
Right.
that movie, you kind of already seen clips and it's not that scary. Like Bird Box did that really well in the beginning, and then they kind of showed like the weird like leaves going all over, and then you're like, okay, you can't see it. But with books and a lot of like weird 4chan stuff that I've been listening to on YouTube, like the
Mm.
audio stuff of the X-Files that they have, it's like you always imagine something creepier,
Yeah.
to you, and it's
Yeah.
very personal.
Your
That's a
imagination
great
takes you
point.
way farther.
Because
when you
and
read
your
that.
your imagination stems from like your own experiences too, so it's that much more personal. That's a really good point. I hadn't even
Yeah.
thought of that till right now. Dang.
Yeah, and I mean, like, going back to the, nightmare thing, most of the time we would watch a horror movie, and I would, like I said with Hereditary, I would laugh because of a lot of the elements I'm like, "I've seen way worse."
And I would be
Like
scarred for months.
exactly, it was really funny. But, yeah, no, I think what really got me into, also, books tend to make a different story creepy. Like, there's one story with H.P. Lovecraft that the protagonist was actually the monster, and it was the
Oh.
realization that he was this disturbing being that was almost like kind of shocking and like really shook me with how he wrote it. And you think this guy is just exploring the castle, and then when he sees people, you think, oh, okay, where's this creepy, and then everyone's like freaking out, and I guess through the medium of a book you could really relate with that. You could feel every emotion he was feeling with the description,
Yeah.
and you could like actually feel the uncertainty and horror, again, that whole unknown thing of when he sees himself in the mirror and he's like, what is that thing? That thing is gruesome. And he noticed it was staring right at him. Little did he know it was him, right? So it was just like completely
Oh,
terrifying. And then it's
jeez.
just a complete plot twist when he touches it and he thinks it's gonna like hurt him, and he's trying to kind of just figure out what's going on. And then he realizes he's a ghoul. And
Oh.
the end of the book is just him like roaming with the other ghouls. But it's just that weird plot twist that I think in some horror, like for example, going back to Hereditary again, when she gets decapitated out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That's what got me. I was like, whoa, things are getting serious now. It's
Yeah.
not like this ain't just some family dynamic. So, and a thing that really kind of hit me with Hereditary is at the very end, I felt like same thing with The Exorcist. It just felt like bad. Like you watched something that really represented kind of just the evil nature of like life.
Mhm.
And like same thing with Babadook again, like that evil psychological part that we have,
Mm.
and it's just, I think those few times are very much like very impactful for me. And games, I would say, are very good at jump scares. I would say that's the best for me with jump scares because, and especially when the big guys coming at you in Resident Evil, like you, if you don't remember it's a game, it's completely terrifying. You're like,
Yeah,
crap,
you
crap,
get trapped
crap.
in the moment.
But
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember when I first played Slender Man, I just ran towards Slender Man, and I was like, I want to
Right.
die.
Yeah.
That invincibility does help.
Yeah.
When you
Mhm.
realize you're invincible because you're behind that, it does help. Really quick,
Oh,
just in the mail, the thought that might won't win the fight is in general a scary thought because most people, especially in our age group, don't feel super confident in their own decision making. He thinks the Promised Neverland sort of really
Oh.
plays on that idea. Like
Yeah.
we our generation, I can agree with that. Like it's hard to make a decision when there's it feels like every time we make a decision it's wrong.
Same with
And
Doki Doki, dude.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
These kids have to make life or death decisions like literally every 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Every frame.
Mm.
I think that's so true. Tricycle Outlast, we were just talking about that.
I played
Outlast
through
is
it.
Yeah. Real
Yeah.
quick,
I hate
Dead
that game.
Space is one of my fucking favorite horror games.
Lovingly hate that
Like,
game.
Dead Space is amazing. Anyways,
Mm.
on to
Dead
Outlast.
Oh, yeah,
Space is
yeah, yeah.
good. Good body horror.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
Really good body
So-
horror.
I heard that Outlast 2 though kind of dropped the ball.
Okay,
I
so
haven't
like,
played
all
it,
right.
but this is what I heard.
So you know that we were talking about this earlier. You know how like Resident Evil had the big invincible. You have to
Right.
run from a dude, and Outlast 1 had those dudes too.
Yeah.
There comes a certain point in Outlast where it becomes unfair. Like for example, in Resident Evil 2, it never is really unfair, even though you can't kill this guy. It's not unfair because you know what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be running away, and you have the knowledge to be able to run away. But like in Outlast 2, they don't teach you anything, any tools or tips and tricks that you can use to get away from the monster. You know? It's just kind of you have to walk into the monster, they'll kill you once. It's almost mandatory basically, considering how difficult it is to find what you're supposed to be doing in that game. They'll kill you
Oh.
once, and then you have to rinse and repeat. And it exits the spooky, like this shit will scare me mentality, and enters a frustrating, annoying fucking like,
See,
why is this happening to me?
I
It's
noticed
frustrating at that point.
that shift came for the DLC of Outlast 1. Like,
Mhm.
because Outlast 1 itself, you had a very clear direction. You're trying to get the fuck out. And you have a good idea of how you're going to do it. You can check your notes, right? There's
Yeah.
little clues and cues to... In the
Yeah.
DLC, that's not there anymore. It's just kind of like the same thing. You run into these dudes. They like slow your movement down a bit to add spookiness, but it doesn't really do
Yeah.
it. And it's it sucks to hear that it continued to trend in that
Well,
direction.
and Trice mentions this. There's an Outlast 2 designed for VR. In VR, it works perfectly because you're used to the
Yeah.
you're used to the limitations of VR, and you're like, okay, well, I can't go, I can't do the shit I would have in Outlast 1. That's fine.
Mm.
But if you're playing the game in anything other than the VR medium, and I would say VR is like almost an entire different medium. Like there's video games and then there's VR because the
Yeah,
experiences
dude.
are wildly different.
Five Nights at Freddy's in VR is no bueno, no
Like,
bueno.
10 seconds, bro. That's all I can last.
The Outlast 2's must be. I haven't played it on VR. I've never played VR, but fucking, I can imagine that shit would slap so hard in VR, without a shadow of a doubt. Fucking Silent Hill. That has been mentioned. Silent Hill is one of the best franchises for horror in existence.
Haven't
Hey,
played it,
bro.
but
Are you excited about the new one that they're making? They
I
announced?
heard about that, but there's
Yeah.
no information out, so I have no idea if I should be excited. I'm excited that Silent Hill is getting another title, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Fatal Frame is a great game. That's
Mhm.
it's like this Japanese girl that just
So taking
explores,
photos, right?
yeah,
Mhm.
explores a haunted house, and the only time you can see like the spirits is by raising your camera and taking a
Mhm.
photo. It's really
Ooh,
cool.
Oh, that
have-
sounds
The
scary, dude.
anxiety.
Yeah,
The anxiety is
Yeah, the
real on that
anxiety-
one.
That a similar play on just you don't know what's there, and you don't know like when it's gonna hurt you, but you just know that it will, and like that
Yeah.
that's beautiful way to build tension.
Yeah. Also, how is playing a piano against me scary? I'm confused.
I think they're
Doesn't-
You're very
Morgan's trolling
talented,
you again.
Morgan. You're very talented.
They're trolling you again.
Um,
Anyways, yeah, I think for Outlast 2, to summarize it, it exits the area of spooky like shit that's happening to you a little too far, and it becomes just frustrating. And then the moment you become frustrated with the game, all tension is lost. You're
Yeah.
no longer scared of the game. Nothing that it tries to do jump scare wise will really affect you because you're like, this shit again.
Right.
Um,
right.
It goes
there's
to
a-
your
there's a-
fight. response.
Yeah, yeah.
There's
yeah.
there's a delicate like balance here between fair and unfair monster designs
Yeah.
that, Resident Evil 2 does really well, Outlast 1 does really well,
Mhm.
Outlast 2 just doesn't do the same.
Dang.
I think like a general consensus we've come on is like horror really works. I mean, it works differently in different mediums, but it works best when you feel hopeless or
You don't have
when
control.
when
over
you
what's
don't have
going on.
control, when they can build on that fear. But something that works with me, it easily is visuals. And that's the type of stuff that burns in my memory, and something that a really good example of that is Junji Ito.
Absolutely.
So I actually have
Oh, I'm
several
reading that one
references.
right now. Oh.
Yeah, so I have 3 books. So Junji Ito, if you guys don't know about Junji Ito, he's a Japanese manga artist, and his whole shtick. Why don't we go ahead? Oh, the slides are already up.
Oh, Javi.
Basically,
You know me.
on top of it, as usual. Anyways, Junji Ito is known for his visually disturbing images.
Yeah.
As far as like the writing goes, he's a pretty good writer. Like, his dialogue is amazing. He really hits home with some of the horror themes and concepts. But the visual aspect of his work is possibly the most disturbing out of all of them.
Yeah.
I have 3 books right here, and I would recommend I've noticed that this podcast has become one big media of the week where we recommend spooky things. So adding on to that, I've got 3 books to recommend from Junji Ito. Tomie
yes.
is the first one.
Yep.
This one is, I think, the oldest one out of the bunch that I have to show. And it's like the first time that he really stepped into making a big volume for manga. Like, the rest of them have been short stories. This is the first time he made like a long, multiple chapter thing.
Yep.
And then the other 2, pick your scare. Do you want fish people or do you want spirals?
Which you wouldn't think.
You wouldn't think
scary?
spirals.
You wouldn't think spirals are scary.
You wouldn't think. You wouldn't think. Like just like swirls, you wouldn't think that'd be scary. But this book makes spirals scary for me. And this one, fish were already scary, so that it didn't really have to work very hard to make fish.
It's almost
any scarier.
And Alex, you'll swat this idea down, but almost like with Uzumaki, it sounds almost a little similar to H.P. Lovecraft. Like H.P. Lovecraft plays on the fear of like you going insane without realizing it, right?
Uzumaki does a lot.
Uzumaki does the same thing.
It is also a Lovecraftian book.
Okay.
It is. I'm pretty sure that like most people who've like gone through it would agree on that. I would say that it's
of the hero's journey.
Yeah.
Mm.
Just send the mail brings up Just send the mail brings up a really valid point. How like it's a manga artist that hasn't gotten a good anime, and that plays on that idea. Junji Ito has gone on record and says he could spend several hours per frame of his comic.
Yeah.
Drawing these comics. And that is just not possible with anime. No. That's not how the business works.
Because of how they get paid, right?
Yeah. And unfortunately, it's a whole different topic, but manga artists are paid dirt in Japan. But I know that there is a new anime announced, and one can hope. I know Junji Ito is actually at the head of direction for that anime, but
God bless, by the way.
I don't know if they can pull it off. I mean, if he spends hours per frame, unless they get some sort of smart like algorithm or software to like
or
help.
or if someone comes in to fund the big bucks for these artists.
Exactly.
I
would hope it would. I hope it turns out good, but we've already seen an example of Junji Ito's works trying to make their way into anime, and it didn't work out.
Yeah.
Don't even try to look into it. Know that there is a collection. The Junji Ito collection is an anime. Dog shit.
Don't look.
Awful.
Please don't.
But yeah.
Dog shit.
Dog shit. Dog water.
Also, thank you for complimenting my piano playing. But it's not scary to play against me because I'm a musician. We'll be playing together as a band.
Morgan finally isn't getting roasted by chat.
Oh yeah, you treated Morgan much nicer this time around. Congrats, guys. That was amazing. He won't complain about it for a week on end. He did that last time.
Listen, it wasn't.
Well,
Tanya Rose.
let's
no,
move on.
I want to ask one thing because we haven't gotten to this yet, and I don't want to end before because I didn't do any research on this. SCP is a thing that Alex revealed to me when we had the meeting to discuss this podcast, and I'm very curious what it is because I couldn't even find very many pictures. I got like 4 stills.
It's a written medium first.
It's a written medium first. So please tell us about this.
Oh man. Okay, so I was kind of like wondering if I should add this because it's and Javi, add in if you like if there's anything because I know you know a little bit about it, but it's really unique because it's like it tries to break the fourth wall as well in the sense that the original medium for it was you would go to a wiki page and there would be all these different logs of I guess experiments and creatures and all this type of stuff.
The SCP stands for Special Containment Procedures or Protocols or something like that.
Yeah, secure, contain, protect. Yeah.
The idea behind SCP documents are that they're all the focus is to explain how do you contain like a demonic entity or like something that paranormal that shouldn't exist on this earth, and what happens if it breaks free of containment.
And I would just add, like, it's one of those where it really kind of took off because even though it is some of it is horror, there's like other amazing stories through it, and I guess just the fact, kind of how like creepypasta can make some really good stories because it's a whole community. There's some really good SCP documents, I guess is what you would call them.
Lore. Is like the Russian sleep experiment thing? You guys know about that? Is that
very similar
SCP
to,
or is it not?
Think about the Russian sleep experiment in concept, but specifically like know that there is a bunker somewhere in the world that is housing the results of the Russian sleep experiment and shit like that.
And then
what
these
happens? Yeah, and so like for example, like there and like not all of them are entirely scary, but some of them are fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
If you guys are curious at all about just listening or watching, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people who read through them on YouTube.
Yeah, so that's how I got into like really into it. Is there's a lot of good YouTubers that like go through lore explanations most of the time, and they go into the SCP lore. And actually, Infographics has done an entirely different channel for SCPs, and where they explain, and then they'll have the story segment between 2 different playlists. So I would say that's probably the best one if you want to get into it. And another thing that's amazing about this is that it's so easy to adapt to other mediums. So like they have this big illustration project where they have all these different books and different volumes for each of these SCPs with amazing illustrations from the community. And I guess that also adds like it's not like horrifying is what makes it so unique. It's more so like you can make it whatever you want. The story is it's whatever your headcanon is what they call it. So
interesting.
So just in the mail is right. Control the video game. I don't know if you guys have played it.
I have it.
It's it really plays on that sort of like just unknown in the world idea.
I'm pretty sure Control is also a not indirect sequel to Alan Wake, which was also a pretty fucking good game. Though I'm not entirely sure how the connection is. I've just been told this. I don't know.
Made by the same people, really. I think.
No, but I think there's like direct connections between the 2 games.
Okay, dope. Also, me doing my taxes is not scary. Everybody does their taxes.
Scary.
Get them, boys. Get them.
We are 5 minutes over 30.
An hour, you mean?
An hour, sorry, over an hour.
Technically, we're overtime,
Yeah. So thank you for joining us, everybody.
We'll do a little cooldown where we talk to the chat, of course.
Oh my god, that's right.
Never, don't forget the Bev. Never.
I also want to end before Morgan gets his pun in. I'm desperate to not get those.
Really quick. Thank you to Dialect Z and Razor Ace 221 for following us.
Oh yeah.
And then the other two.
And then we, if the chat has, oh, we already, if the chat
We can
has
go back
anything they
through.
want to ask us
I feel like
about
a lot of
horror
stuff was said.
or anything, any questions that they
Yeah.
had, or just statements, feel free to interact with us.
See,
or
we
whatever.
should
We're just gonna,
we should replace audience interaction time. We should replace Morgan's pun time with audience interaction time. I
Yes,
think
yes,
we can
yes, we should.
completely abolish
we're always-
Cancel
Morgan's
Morgan.
pun
we're
time.
always gonna end
Okay.
on my pun.
Cancel Morgan.
We're
I
always gonna
see-
end on- it's
Cancel
okay.
Morgan so that he doesn't create any more puns, and
Yes.
then we're good.
True.
Addy, if
What's
you
our
want
favorite food?
a Modelo,
Oh,
you'll have to come.
I'll bring a Modelo. She said her house.
But
What's your
her
favorite
couch
food?
is so small, bro. She doesn't understand this. She
I
thinks
would
she
s-
has the good crib.
Your place is better for a movie.
Our place is so much. We have a much bigger couch. We have the beanbag chair, bro. We have it's the Addie's house is not the place for a movie, bro.
I think it's cozy. What's
Yeah,
our
Morgan,
favorite
why are you
food?
muted? Your audio is muted, man.
Yeah, come on, Morgan.
Hashtag cancel Morgan. That's not nice.
What's
Yes,
what-
my crib.
what's my favorite food, guys? What's your favorite food? That's a great question.
Sushi.
Oh fuck, man. So there's like I pizza, burgers, sushi, like
You gotta pick one.
burritos. I can't.
Ass.
Ass. Yeah.
Ass. Heard it here first.
It was.
It's
the-
messy. I'm sorry I live with a band, but the couch is nice. We sit on the couch.
Also-
we watch.
Yeah, it is a very nice couch. I'll give you that.
Also, chat, you didn't bully
Comfy ass
Morgan into
couch.
letting me back into intro, and I need you to do that. So I don't think he's gonna let me in if you don't.
Also, look up Sam's song. Otherwise, he's gonna start doing this bit like every time.
I get bullied. Morgan's house gives me anxiety with the clutter. Bro, what are you saying? You are pulling. This hurts me to the core because I clean so much.
I
This-
I cleaned after Albert's birthday.
Yes, that one night, but I
watch
Every time I walk in is a little dirty.
I
though.
try my best to clean more.
Yeah?
Stop.
Morgan's already been canceled, man.
We'll
It's over.
We'll discuss.
Well, you got canceled last time. It's just carried over.
We'll discuss the location of the film later. It doesn't matter. Alex, Javi, what are your favorite foods?
Favorite food? Pasta. All kinds.
Oh man, I don't even know. Probably like steak, venison, elk, things like that.
Okay, meat.
Meat. Well, no, not all meat. I mean, I don't like fish or pork.
Technically, if you like meat, that means your favorite food is salad.
Oh, that's weird. That's really weird.
Damn, Alex is a
Um,
salad guy. I never would have thought.
No,
Morgan once called me
same.
over in the hallway, spit on my shirt, and then told me to just go back to whatever.
Whoa,
it's
you did
weird.
that?
No, I did not.
Morgan,
What
I
the
also
heck,
said-
dude?
you hated dialects, music, and life.
What the heck?
You can't be saying
I
these
didn't-
things, guy.
You know, you come off initially as like a really nice guy, but like this is a whole new side.
I don't know. I don't know if we can let you back into this podcast.
how
Morgan.
you
told
Morgan?
me
Like-
what the fuck, Morgan?
Okay,
also
we
did
gotta
that to
end
me
this,
too.
dude.
No. We need to get more into this.
But hold on.
I'm concerned for my own
You've
mental health
ruined
and safety.
two people's credit scores.
I did
Here.
not.
This is a problem.
In fact,
Those
I
people's
would
lives
love
are
to
ruined
sit
because
down.
of you.
I would love to sit down with any one of you and talk about how you can increase your credit score. Because I
Oh, look at this.
That's how he gets you. He
That's how
sits
he-
you
yeah.
down
No,
and he
I-
makes you think that he's gonna help you.
Nonetheless, let's forget. Guys, this isn't. We wanted you to ask questions about the theme of the podcast. Do you have any questions about horror, not about
Sounds
my
like-
effects on other people?
Sounds like
Being
the acts you
this
commit
friend,
against
yeah,
other people
horror.
are horrifying.
I
Also,
feel like
didn't
he's trying
steal
to
the fire
dodge the
extinguishers.
conversation.
You stole the fire extinguishers, but nonetheless.
What the
Pull the theme on the overlay. Yeah, they want to see the hot guy.
Is there? He's there. Or are you talking
He's
about
right
horror?
there.
Because I don't have a general horror slide. I'm really sorry. I could find a cool slide.
Yeah.
Just put
Anyways,
Morgan's
I'll
face
just put
up
like.
there.
I'll put like Junji Ito up again, just because
Yeah.
this is some great pieces of art.
Oh, it's creepy as fuck, man. Whew, whew,
Who's
that
third
shit
guy
will
behind you?
fuck you up.
You
Oh.
fell.
Well, I thought maybe it was Albert. I don't know. I don't know why.
Horror.
Why didn't
Yeah.
you just look at the screen?
Well, because I mean, it's
He's too caught up in ruining
the theme is
people's credit
horror.
scores.
Yeah. You're
Yeah,
welcome to look at the VOD if you joined in late. We will be posting it immediately after this. We have our YouTube channel going, and we will be posting there soon enough. We will get the links on down there, I would assume. Sam, maybe, yes, no.
Sorry, what?
Links to YouTube channel down below at some point.
Oh
soon,
yeah,
hopefully.
let me do that real quick. Sorry.
I'm trying to remember who said they were just send the mail.
Oh,
Also,
now you're
I
trying to
don't
dox
remember
people?
bullying anybody,
I
but
feel like we need to.
need
Look,
to
just
what?
saying. There needs to be a little bit of bullying in here, just to keep our egos in check, you know.
No, he's talking.
Ah, you
Okay.
posted it 4 times. Nice. All right, we have nothing on the YouTube channel yet. We'll get there.
No, we have
Something-
2 of our
Yeah, we
VODs
do.
up.
Yeah,
We have
Do
one-
we now?
we have-
Interesting.
we have-
I have
we have
lied
our-
to you, chat.
We have our
I
Star
am
Wars
sorry.
podcast and our esports podcast up. And then
I am sorry for lying to you, chat.
Summer, I meant
Eh.
Morgan in Summer 83. He was kind and honest man who promised to improve my career. I gave him my life saving. He ran away with my life, dog,
Dog.
car, identity, and house. How do you run away with somebody's house? How does that work?
you've seen
Oh.
those mobile houses that you put on trailers?
Also, Jalapeno, I got punched and pushed into a pool and got the crap beaten out of me. Not the other way around.
No, I remember it very much.
You
well.
weren't there.
Tell me. You go-
It was all over the news.
I was the guy that
looking for you.
Here's my
Oh,
house.
I was the guy that you hit.
I didn't know. Although we've been in a few minor fights.
I think 2.
Um,
I wouldn't call them a fight.
yeah, more like scuffles.
More
for,
like you threw
10
2
seconds.
punches and I just walked away.
I'm not. It's hard for me to be threatening, man.
Ever seen
Zywik is
bully?
the only reason Morgan is.
Thank you-
used
thank
to
you,
bully.
Corey.
Praise Zywik.
Thank you,
Praise.
Corey. Oh man.
Bro, no,
All
that's,
right.
that's so
Some
stupid.
good shit.
All praise.
yeah.
I remember I got in a fight with somebody back in 8th grade, and about the fact that I wouldn't tell him a girl had a crush on him or something, and he.
That's so weird.
I
Morgan.
remember as like to get me to tell him, he like pinched my nipple, I think.
And that made your rage just come
and
out.
and then I slapped him, and then we were in a big fight for the rest of the day. But it doesn't matter. Praise Alex. Thanks,
Oh.
Fraser Ace.
So if you want to fight Morgan, you know what to do.
no,
Go for
We'll
grabs.
we'll set up a little tournament.
That might be
Is that
flirting. Yes.
Is that a
might-
fight? A very valid question here. Is that a fight or flirting?
oh,
That is a
actually,
good
this
question.
brings me on
You
the fact
slapped
that,
him and then he kissed you.
hold on. For those of you watching right now, our topic for next week, I came up with this, and I think I'm so excited for.
Oh.
Each
is
of
it-
us are going to bring a list of things, and we're going to ask both you, the chat, and us. We're going to vote on it. Is it sus or not? So, for
Little
example,
chat
Mm.
interaction game.
It's
if
gonna be
you,
fun.
if you,
It's gonna be so
if
fun.
you prefer driving stick shift over automatic, is that sus or not? I
And
would
we'll-
say
no,
I mean,
no,
I
no,
would
no,
say-
no, no, shut up. Don't
No.
get into arguments. Just leave it
Well,
there.
We're not talking
Just
about
leave it
it.
there. Just leave it
I mean,
there.
that's
Leave it
an
there.
example.
Just-
we can
Leave it there.
just-
Leave it there.
Leave it there.
Okay, so that's what we're
We'll
gonna
pick
do.
it up next week.
If you guys have sus or not questions, you can bring them to the chat next week. I'm really excited. It's gonna be super funny. The horrors of Morgan with special guest Dialect Z.
This is
We'll
probably
have you
not the
on the
first time
weekend,
we'll bring
bro.
up the horror topic. I think we're getting into the horror kick. It will consume us soon enough.
You've actually fought with me and my girlfriend. Stick shift is better. It is better, but is it sus or not? Think about that.
Think about
Think
it.
about-
Just think about
Think
it.
about that. Think about it.
Maybe
Come
it's
up with
sus.
your
I mean,
arguments,
Yeah.
and we'll discuss.
Okay. No Morgan pun this time. I think
no,
we
yes.
just-
Oh, wait. We have
No.
ceremoniously
No.
ended on a pun every single podcast.
No,
How can you not
I-
want that to
No.
happen?
Morgan,
I
you
want
don't
that.
have the power.
No, ceremoniously.
You have been
please.
canceled.
Thank you to
You've been canceled.
You have been
Dude,
canceled.
Hold on.
The chat has
Thank you for the
canceled.
cryptic
So, hey, we gotta
crypticalism
vote,
for the follow.
We gotta
We need
We need
for last time. What more? We need more Morgan puns. We gotta vote. Come on, we gotta listen to the chat. Let Morgan speak.
Don't encourage us. Don't encourage us.
Okay,
Don't,
so
guys.
This is something you want.
let me speak before we
You
end
got-
the podcast.
You've got
I
5
need-
minutes.
no
max.
less than that.
Less than 3 minutes. You
5
got 3
seconds.
minutes.
You got 5 seconds.
No, hold on. Let Morgan speak. You could RuneScape a pun
Guys,
together.
guys,
I do
don't,
remember that.
guys,
but
don't, please don't do this.
you don't win them all. So
Guys.
I need somebody. Alex, you're the guest. I need you to give me
Yes,
a
squash
word.
whack. No Morgan speak. Boo. Or are you advocating for him to speak?
I need you to give me a word to pun.
Uncancel him. No.
No.
And I will
No.
put it in.
No.
Yes,
don't
cancel
do
him.
this.
Cancel him.
Don't do this.
End him.
I'm sure
You
want
can't-
to do
Yes,
the-
yes. Go ahead.
I want to choose one, but I feel like you couldn't.
That's okay if I can't. I'll do it badly. That's the whole joke.
Uncancel Morgan to cancel him again.
Quick. This is taking too
Pokemon.
long. Come on, just pick. Man,
We're
please.
20 minutes over.
Pokemon.
Pokemon and horror. Okay.
Okay, well let's keep talking while I think a little bit.
No.
Oh, we should
Sit.
we do-
Everybody sit in silence.
Freddy Krueger versus.
I'm never watching another vid if I don't get my pun. See, hey.
You quit talking.
Okay,
just
I'm
get
thinking.
your
I'm
pun,
thinking.
man.
I'm thinking.
Cat came up with one before you.
Okay, I have an idea. I have a friend. His name is Eamon. So, you're in a dark hallway, and there's a creature coming up to poke Eamon.
I like.
Get outta here.
cats more.
Get
I
outta
like
here.
cats.
it's so bad. I'm so sorry. I thought I was good at this.
Morgan has been officially canceled.
Yeah. We're no.
You can't.
Yeah, Squashwag is right. We do not negotiate with terrorists. This is the last time we're doing a Morgan pun. So Morgan is effectively a psychological terrorist.
This
At
was
this-
the last
at
episode of
this
the
point.
podcast. Thank you for joining us.
No, I know
It was
you
a
guys
trip.
enjoyed it.
We will be
No!
here. We will be here next week
No, we didn't.
at 7:25 p.m. Pacific Standard. We're going to do the sus or nah debate.
Sus or not. Our guest of the week
One-
next week is
one of
going
the
to be
most-
Savant.
Important, valuable debates of all time. Can't wait to see you there. Thanks for watching,
Stay-
you guys.
for
Stay hot,
juicy-
stay young, stay hot, stay young again, stay handsome, and stay manly, fellas. Peace.
Or one of those. It doesn't
Or
have
one
to
of
be all of
those.
them. Yeah, it could be. You could just be young. I'm assuming that most of you guys are young.
All right. See you, everybody.
Think of some sus or not, everybody. Think of some sus or not to bring.
Morgan, sus or not?
Ending in 5, 4,
all right.
3, 2,
Thank you. Young, hot, young,
one.
handsome man.